So it's 5th December today, it's almost the year end. And if I asked you what are your resolutions today, would you be able to tell me exactly what they are, what your plans of execution are, and your milestones that you want to achieve within those goals? Because the thing is that people often make a lot of things, a long list of things, the day before New Year's or maybe like a week before New Year's, or if you're really last minute, then like on New Year's itself, oh, I should have a plan, or a few days later. That's really the worst case. But here's the thing: once 1st January comes, it's actually very late. You're too late, and here's why: you need to get the ball rolling before 1st Jan comes. If not, your energy is gonna be spent trying to push that ball, get it rolling, and you're gonna be very discouraged. Imagine like, okay, I can't really think of a great analogy, but basically you're not spending energy on executing and actually pushing the ball. You're just spending like 80% of your energy to push and get that initial push of the ball. And you know that once things starts rolling, once things start rolling, it's hard to stop it. It's very hard to stop things. If you're very fit, okay, not very fit. If let's say you're very consistent with exercise, when you stop exercising, right, you actually feel like, hey, this is so weird. Why am I doing this? And if you're very consistent waking up late, sorry, waking up early, if you wake up like at 7 or 8 a.m., you're gonna feel like, oh my gosh, I woke up so late. Like, this feels very weird, and you would rather wake up at your earlier time, let's say 6 a.m., 5 a.m. Same with the exercise thing. Same with bad habits, you know, if you're always eating junk food, when you don't, you're gonna be craving it. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, where's my chocolate? Where's my bubble tea? Where's my Hokkien Mee? Whatever. It's very dependent on your habits, and that's what I mean by the inertia, because it'll take a while to firstly stop that ball that you don't want to roll. Let's say the fast food thing or whatever unhealthy habit, and it's gonna take some time to push that new ball and get it rolling to a point where it's actually you're not doing a lot of work anymore. Like I mentioned before in my previous episodes, when I come home from work, it's almost instinctual to me to just put on my socks and get out of the house, go exercise, because I feel so tired. I feel very tempted to just lie on my bed, but I've developed a habit to the point where I would rather, or it's easier for me to exercise than to not. And I know that once I leave the house, on those days that I feel really lazy, I know once I leave the house, it's gonna be harder for me to turn around and go back home than to continue like going to exercise. And I've done this so many times. I'm like, okay, now can put your shoes, just walk out of the house and see how you feel. 100% of the time so far, I've never turned around and gone back home, because once you board that train, once you know what is your train that you need to board, that train's not coming back. It's gonna go forward, and that's exactly what you need to do to start building right now. So let's talk about some habits that you might want to develop. Let's say, oh, I want to exercise more consistently. Alright, running. Start tomorrow. Don't start on 1st Jan. Start tomorrow, 6th December, or whenever you're watching this, as long as it's before New Year's. Anyway, start right after this, the day, you know? Start with, let's say, 500 meters. Let's say you've never run in your life. Start with 500 meters. Do that 3 times a week: Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Take 4 rest days, okay? And guess what? When Monday comes around, you have an extra rest day. That's great. So 3 times, 500 meters. Then the next week, you try, okay, let's try 1 km. It's gonna be tiring. Try 3 times. Take a break. And then, guess what? By the time you hit January 1st, assuming you did this for 3 to 4 weeks, you're gonna be running about 2 km every day for like 3 times. And this is gonna be so much better than compared to you just starting off and getting discouraged on the first, second week. Because then when you actually have progress, it's already February and you feel like, oh my gosh, I've not really like done a lot. Even though you actually made progress, so just start now. And when you hit January, you're gonna be like, wow, I've made a lot of progress. So it's almost like a mental trick. Another thing that I was thinking about was, I can't remember, but here's my warning, because if you're still not convinced that, oh, I should do it now, think about this. What are you actually doing on the midnight of New Year's? Like, before first Jan, right? The midnight. What are you doing? Probably like if you have a strong social life, you'll be out at a friend's house, some party, having drinks, playing games, staying up late, having fast food. Like by the time you wake up and go home at 6 a.m, 7 a.m, go to sleep, you catch the first bus, whatever, then you sleep, right? And you wake up in the afternoon, like you're gonna feel so disgusting. You're not gonna feel great. You're gonna be at your lowest performance level. So are you really gonna run that day? If you don't run now, what's gonna make you run then when your motivation is so much lower, when your energy is lower, when your performance is like it's so much lower? So start now, make it a habit. Just be consistent. It's very hard to negotiate, so you just have to do it. I don't know how to convince you. Watch my other videos if you need help, but this is not the video for it. So yeah, I hope you take that advice. Yeah. That being said, with all this, do I know my goals for January 1st? Well, honestly, not really. I don't really know my goals. I have a general idea, but do I have the metrics and do I have the... I forgot what's the other one, but where I want to be, I don't. I only have the general goal, and maybe I'll list a few. If you don't have any, yeah, maybe we can take some inspiration from this. So first one, join a gym or take up a martial art, either BJJ or kickboxing. BJJ being Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Second one, prepare for my climbing competition, which is on January, like mid-Jan. Third one, be more intentional with my YouTube channel. So posting this on YouTube, not on Instagram. It's time to just put it out. Yeah. Fourth one, scheduling time to learn something every week with like proper courses. Because I think it's one thing that I listen to like okay, let me elaborate later. Fifth one, last one, practice my Mandarin every day. So let me run through it and explain. Okay. First one, join a gym or martial art. So I've kind of been wanting to join a gym for a while. My only hesitation has been I go to a climbing gym every week. I don't want to get too bulky. I'm working on my calisthenics, so I don't really need to like work on my deadlifts and don't need to work on like bench press, whatever. And I don't exactly have a gym partner as well, so there's not a lot of motivation to do that. And then so if I don't do that, I want to join a martial art like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing, some kind of sport, because I used to do BJJ. Grappling. It was very fun, but now that I'm working, it's very time consuming. And I only did it like before I joined army, not joined, enlisted, right? So yeah, I want to get back into actually having the skills to fight in case there's ever anything. I can at least defend myself. So yeah, second one, preparing for a climbing competition, because graphical is in the mid-Jan period. My first competition, so I do want to not necessarily cut weight, but I do want to make sure I lean out as much as I can. I don't want to eat a lot of junk food, so I really need to watch my diet, and that starts now. Third one, being intentional on my YouTube channel. I think the idea was initially like, oh, let's just post on Instagram, eventually we'll post on YouTube. And then because I didn't post on YouTube, I wanted to like have a back catalog of like, okay, these are all my things, post it up. Then it just became like a procrastination, and in the end I didn't post, and like it's been a few months and I've been posting everything on IG. I'm like, okay, there's no traction here, because I wouldn't even listen to myself if I can't play it at 2 times speed, you know? So I want to be able to play this at 2 times speed and listen to it, and I'm sure other people will. So putting it on YouTube, at least you can change 1.25, 1.5, whatever, yeah. And more accessible, because it's on YouTube, right? Yeah. And with that being said, I want to chop it out and make like YouTube shorts, TikToks, just the main bulk of my message, 1 minute clip, post it online, share it. That's what my Instagram's supposed to be. It's not it yet. So fourth one, almost there, scheduling time to learn something. I think because I always listen to podcasts on train, I always learn something when I need to, especially like this past 1 month, it's been all about crypto. Yeah, and some self-development stuff like habits, and just improving my value as a person, in the sense that not that I'm not worthy of like love or what, but it's more like how can I increase my value so people are willing to pay me more you know, these like skill sets of sales or even my work, stuff like that. And then with like planning extra time is like a course. Okay, 1 hour sit down, let's run through this paid course. I bought like a few courses on like drawing and like recently a marketing one, and I haven't made time to do it. I don't not have time, I just haven't made time. It's not my priority. My priority has been just having fun because I've been procrastinating. Last one, practicing Mandarin every day. Dude, you know how long this book, I bought this like I think earlier this year or late last year, I don't exactly remember. But Chinese with Ease, I'm supposed to be done with this by now, but yeah, my Chinese sucks and I want to practice. I want to be able to read the Chinese words as well. As you can see, it's backwards, but yeah. How? No? So that's what I want to do. So that was like the first lesson. So these are my plans, adopted to how you want. There's categories here, as you can see. Some are physical, some are mental, some are skills based, some are language. Take the categories and apply it to yourself. Do I want to learn a new skill? Do I want to learn a new language? Do I want to learn or develop discipline? You know, discipline is a discipline that not many have the discipline to do, or something like that. That was a quote. I try to be cool. Yeah, you need to develop discipline because it's a discipline, and what that means, it just means that it takes discipline. I don't know how else to describe this. With any discipline like sports or whatever, or martial arts, or it takes time, it takes consistency, it takes group effort as well. And I think making sure that you find a group of friends that want to improve as well, that's great. Recently I've been sharing more of these things, and more of my friends have been watching, more of my friends are talking to me about it, saying, hey, how do you do this, and asking questions. I've been recommending books, and yeah, they like just recently today, Joman was messaging me saying, I mean, he was joking saying like the book was bad, but actually he was saying how to win friends and influence people, like it's a great book, and how to like avoid arguments and stuff like that. So I feel like I have an intermediate level of knowledge, and if you're a beginner, I really want to help you. Yeah, so if like, I mean, if you know me and you made it this far, by the way, thank you. And I'm willing to offer you like a 30-minute coaching session. Let me just run through what you want to do, how can I help you have a very practical plan, because to me, I'm all about practicality. I want to make sure that you can actually execute. Execution is better than the actual plan itself, because if you have a plan and you're not executing, then you're never going to grow. If I kept saying, okay, I want to make a YouTube channel, I want to post a video, but I don't do it, then what the heck is that, you know? Like, no one's gonna really, people are just gonna call you out and call you like lazy and not take you seriously. So same thing with any skill, just start it. So if you need help, again, message me on Instagram, on the comments, on YouTube. I mean, Instagram is better, especially if you're my friend. I am willing to spend as much time as you need to coach you. I've had experience coaching part-time in the past. I really want to do it, but yeah, I have not made effort to seek clients or, you know, put in time to really coach people. So anyway, before I sign out, I'm trying to keep this under 15 minutes. Practically, what can you do? I talked about setting goals now before first gen comes, executing on it, and just slowly growing so that when first gen comes and you're not in your best state, at least you have a form or a base habit that you're trying to develop, and it's going to be so much easier to carry out throughout the rest of the year. It doesn't have to be the full year, but yeah, for a set period of time. So that's more or less it. Practically, take out a pen and paper, write down what goals do you want to achieve. Secondly, write down how are you going to achieve it. Are you going to exercise 2 times a week, 3 times a week? And third one is like, how far do you want to go with it? I want to be able to run 5k by the end of 3 months, you know, something like that, without being tired. Set a realistic goal, a timeline, and the practicals. Again, if you need help and you're my friend, message me on IG at @anoccasionalloser, and I will be willing to give you a coaching session. So stay strong, take care, friends. Love you. Yeah.